Welcome aboard. Welcome to Man, Washington Land, often referred to as Chop House. Did you know that only a few decades ago, seals were an essential part of daily life in Hong Kong, used for both personal and business correspondence? The technique of seal carving marries the art of calligraphy with the precision of carving, culminating in exquisite traditional craft. It is recognized as an example of traditional craftsmanship on Hong Kong's intangible cultural heritage. During the 1960s and 70s, Man, Washington Lane became the hub of chop production in Hong Kong, reaching unparalleled heights. The introduction of computer-generated sealing in the 1980s helped its decline in the traditional hand-carved techniques. However, to this day, many continue to personally commission seasoned craftspeople for personalized calligraphy seals, thus helping preserve this priceless cultural craft. If you're searching for a distinctive souvenir from Hong Kong, consider getting a custom-made seal designed by one of the master craftsmen on Chop Alley. and bring home a piece of traditional craftsmanship. Let's travel back to the early 20th century. Can you guess what powertrains back then? Horses? Steam? Coal? Actually, none of these were used. Since 1904, trams in Hong Kong have been powered by diesel-friendly electricity. The initial 26 single-deck trams were manufactured in the UK and then shipped over to Hong Kong for assembly. In 1912, due to the popularity of trams among the public, the tram company began introducing double-decker trams. The top deck of these early double-deckers was open air, designed with garden-style seating. By 1925, roofs were added to the top deck to protect passengers from the sun and rain. Today, trams have become a symbol of the city. Hong Kong's fleet is also the largest double-decker tram fleet. All tram components are 100% made in Hong Kong, and the production line is locally owned. Moreover, taking a ride on tram is the most affordable way to travel across the urban areas of Hong Kong, with over 200,000 passenger journeys each day. What do Hong Kong's streets evoke? Is it skyscrapers? Perhaps vibrant night marches? There's one more element that will surely strike your mind: neon lights. Glowing neon signs have been an emblematic feature of Hong Kong's streetscape for generations, be it in snug alleyways or along bustling main roads. These luminescent displays have become an integral aspect of the city's distinct culture. In the 1920s, local businesses began using neon lights for their vivid colors and striking designs for growth patrons. Post-World War II, the neon industry thrived even more, with skilled artisans meticulously crafting glass tubes into expressions of their creativity, thus becoming symbolic of Hong Kong for many tourists. However, as times have evolved, cost-effective LED lights have started to replace the traditional neon, leading to a decrease in the artisanal practice of handmade neon lights. To soak in the unique appeal of Hong Kong neon lights, we suggest a visit to the Temple Street Night Market or Lot Harbor in Wan Chai, where you can appreciate this vanishing neon craftsmanship. Look towards the hillside, and you'll see the mid-levels area of Central, along with Lan Kwai Fong, Hong Kong's most famous nightlife spot. Did you know that in the 1970s, Lan Kwai Fong was a garbage dump? It was transformed by a nightclub called the Disco Disco, which changed the fate of this place completely. Disco Disco opened its doors in 1978, and it wasn't just a dance hall. It was a symbol of freedom and the liberation of individuality. Before long, Disco Disco attracted countless celebrities and trendsetters, becoming the most fashionable venue. Even rock legend Rod Stewart, American actor Madonna, and the renowned artist Andy Warhol paid this place a visit. Although Disco Disco eventually closed, Alan Sandler, known as the father of modern rock and roll, reinvented the entire area into a brand new entertainment district, combining restaurants and bars into the legendary lounge Clock Farm. On the city side is the HSBC building, the headquarters of the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation, designed by British architect Tony Foster. The building is remarkable for the amount of potential. It was one of the most luxurious buildings in the world. Keep in mind that when it was completed in 1985, it was the most expensive building. Many Hong Kong people believe that the bank's headquarters has excellent feng shui properties, as it benefits from unobstructed views of Victoria Harbor. In front of the building stand a pair of famous lion sculptures. The one depicted roaring is named Stephen after Alexander Gordon Stephen, formerly the chief manager of HSBC, while the other is called Stitt after Gordon Holmes Stitt, the then manager of Shanghai. In front of you stands one of Hong Kong's wonders, the Bank of Chinatown. Between it and the HSBC building, there was once a legendary central called Shui Bank. The design of the Bank of China Tower is very unique, featuring a sharp, pointed shape that resembles a blade piercing the sky. This building was designed by the world-renowned architect Diane Tay, inspired by bamboo, symbolizing continual growth and filled with positive energy. However, in feng shui, such pointed and intersecting designs can gather sha qi or negative energy, potentially affecting the surrounding environment. It is said that after the Bank of China Tower was completed, HSBC's stock price plummeted, prompting HSBC to hire a feng shui master to resolve this sha qi. Do you also remember the two lion statues you mentioned earlier at HSBC entrance? They are reputed to be guardians of HSBC's financial prosperity. fabric of the red, white, red did not have its origins in Hong Kong. Initially, the fabric had a single shade. When it arrived in Taiwan, local manufacturers believed the solid blue carried more and more combination, so they infused it with red and white, resulting in the tricolored design of the hood. It was not until the early 1970s when it arrived in Hong Kong and became ingrained in the region. At that time, much of Hong Kong was composed of blue hospitals. During the sports residents deployed the red, white, and blue fabric as an invaluable symbol. Later on, concerned with Hong Kong's economic surge, swift progression of construction, these fabrics were employed to shield buildings from demolition and dust dispersion, consequently increasing demand for recycling. During the 70s and 80s, China's economic reform and opening up, numerous Hong Kongers returned back to the mainland, bringing along gifts and everyday products. Since regulations in order for business and consumers by lightweight, durable, cheap red, white, bag, and room as the preferred cross-border transport types. Over time, these colors have become synonymous with the iconic red, white, and blue fabrics. As the tram trundles toward Wan Chai, let me tell you some spooky tales. The Hungry Ghost Festival, the 7th month of the lunar calendar, and chilling narratives unfold. The month referred to as the Ghost Month, dedicated to honoring the dead, but those stories remain, particularly those centered around Starship and Two Terrace in Wan Chai, have been passed down for generations. Let's begin with the air raid shelter on Starship. During World War II, the area was bombarded by Japanese forces, driving the local residents to seek shelter. Unfortunately, a bomb hit the refuge, resulting in numerous fatalities. Since then, countless creepy tales have originated from this location. To quell these rumors, a local shrine was later erected at the front of the shelter, and a red piece of fabric was placed over the entrance, serving as a talisman for pacifying the disturbed spirits. From then on, the strange occurrences have diminished. Another infamous haunted location is the Nam Phu Terrace. This crimson mansion, nestled atop a small hill on the ship's served as a brothel for Japanese soldiers. It's rumored that many unfortunate women faced their end in this house. Later, reports surfaced of people hearing wails and sobs from a woman late at night, and witnessing a lady dressed in a red Chong Sandal. Legend has it that the specter in the red harbors adding more mystery. Presently, Nam Phu Terrace is cordoned off, restricting direct access. Still, the locals claim they occasionally witness eerie green lights emanating. Remember, these are merely tales, and believing in them is a matter of personal choice. In the heart of this bustling neighborhood stands a four-story, cream-colored building graced with balconies, christened the home. At first blush, this residential building may seem unimposing, but it is rich in history and character. The distinctive balcony design are both elegance and depth in construction. Buildings of this sort, known as Tong Lao, are a common sight across Hong Kong. But have you ever wondered about the origins of those structures? The rise of Tong Lao date back to the early stages of Hong Kong's founding. During this period, a significant influx of Chinese people settled on Hong Kong, particularly in central Sheung-Wan regions. The establishment of Victoria City in these areas spurred the construction of numerous simple but practical Tong operates. Typically, the lower level house shops, while the upper floors serve. Although the design concept was modest, it was highly functional. An element that stands out in Tong Lao architecture is the Kurlao, or the balcony. These balconies bulge out over the pedestrian walkways, offering passersby sheltered elements and enhancing the wonderment. More so, open balconies augment ventilation, making the heat bearable on even the hottest days. Fascinatingly, this design became a popular trend not only in Hong Kong, but also gained favorability. Some architectural historians even believe that the Kurlao style has been exported from Hong Kong to Guangzhou. Presently, the Fawn, which once operated as the renowned O.O. Chong Pawn Shop in Wan a traditional pawn shop built in the early 1900s, has undergone a transformation to suit contemporary needs. On this side of the train, observe the colonial-style buildings graced with red railings, a unique fusion of Eastern and Western cultures. This street is officially called Li Tong Avenue, but it's better known as W. Wedding Car Street, its old name. The history of Wedding Car Street dates back to the 1950s when the Hong Kong government centralized the printing industry in this location for more efficient regulation. Li Tong Street eventually became the premier destination for printing wedding invitations. Picture the bustling ambient filled with the rhythmic hum of printing presses and eager couples with their families carefully selecting their invitations. Everyone aimed to find a unique wedding invitation on the street, which subsequently earned it the affectionate nickname Wedding Car Street. However, in line with the city's progression, Li Tong Street underwent a redevelopment in 2010, converting it into a contemporary residential and commercial hub, the Li Tong Avenue today. As we move through the bustling district of Wan Chai, you will see a captivating blend of old and new buildings. Have you ever noticed that some stores are discreetly nestled within skyscrapers? This is the unique upstairs shop culture of Hong Kong. The upstairs shops stand as a testament to the resourcefulness of Hong Kong's locals. They ingeniously convert compact spaces above ground into flourishing commercial hubs. You might notice the subtle store signs, or in some cases, no signs at all, as these enterprises often solely rely on word of mouth. Imagine stepping into one of these unremarkable buildings and stumbling upon a hidden boutique coffee shop or a vintage barber shop teeming with rituals. These upstairs shops are brimming with unexpected discoveries and intriguing tales, eager for exploration. Tram lines that are traveling along today closely follow the shoreline of Hong Kong. Since the 1850s, the city has been reclaiming land from Victoria Harbor to expand the amount of useful space. In the Central District, the tram lines are now to 700 mm. At Wan Chai, the track is almost 1 kilometer inland from the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center that projects out into the harbor. Before us stands the famous museum. This significant transformation of Hong Kong is renowned not only for its traffic, but also for a unique cultural ritual called filling. Filling involves using shoe or similar implements to strike paper edges, symbolizing the expulsion of the living. This practice, originating in ancient China, initially spread throughout Guangdong province before establishing itself. The practice likely originated in agrarian societies, where farmers performed rituals to protect their spring crops from underground pests. Over time, these rituals evolved into symbolic acts of seeking protection, overcoming adversity, even alleviating stress. In present-day Hong Kong, filling hitting has taken on visitors from the Goose Network take part in every explorer Causeway Bay. Let me share with you a remarkable story about a family that once resided on the island. During the 1960s, the dairy company operated a nice storage facility on the island. According to local accounts, not only did the place store milk, it was also home to a penguin that became known for its daily walks through Hong Kong streets. The penguin, who stayed in the warehouse, followed a strict routine. 4 p.m. every day, the warehouse nap was taken out. It would waddle across Causeway Bay on the beach, creating an enchanting sight that locals often liked to record. This unusual story was later verified by the retired administrator of Hong Kong, who personally witnessed it. It was an ordinary-sized penguin, appearing as a dressed tuxedo. It would amble down the street with a cool and carefree Presence was brief, and his subsequent disappearance became one of Hong Kong's more intriguing historical tales. Now we're traveling along Personage, a lively area that comes alive at night with a brilliant display of neon lights and a vibrant buzz all around, capturing the quintessential bustling spirit of Hong Kong. To your right is Times Square, a landmark well loved by Hong Kong. What you might not know is that behind Times Square's modern facade lies a fascinating slice of history. This site was once a tram depot, one of the landmarks of Old Causeway Bend. Back then, this area was lined with street vendor stalls, and whenever a tram needed to enter the depot, the vendors would quickly pack up to clear the path. You could just imagine the clatter of tram tracks, trams weaving in and out, and vendors loudly peddling. It was a place teeming with life. As Hong Kong's tram service grew increasingly popular, the old tram depot had to be expanded in 1950. However, with urban development and growing commercial needs, the Russell Street Tram Depot was sold in 1989 to make way to the Times Square we see today. Something of a secret zone which accompanies drinking restaurants. When the server fills your cup with tea, you express gratitude by gently tapping both your middle and index fingers on the table. A gesture that represents the gracious bow the emperor made back to the Qing dynasty. When you need the teapot refilled, simply remove the lid of the pot and rest it on the table. The server will quickly return. We are entering the Happy Valley. Along the bustling streets of Happy Valley stand a historical site that once saved countless lives, the Wong Nai Chung Road Air Raid Tunnel. In 1938, as the threat of war loomed Hong Kong, air raid warnings became a regular occurrence. Recognizing the strategic importance of both the Leighton Hill and Wong Nai Chung areas, and considering the dense population of Wan Chai and Causeway Bay, the government constructed a large-scale air raid tunnel for public safety. This structure earned the distinction of being Hong Kong's longest air raid tunnel, capable of sheltering thousands of people. During air raid alerts, residents from all locations would seek refuge within this tunnel. Historical accounts tell of people carrying only dry food and water, gathering in a shared sanctuary. Despite the challenging circumstances, the tunnel became a symbol of unity, where people from all walks of life supported one another. Contemporary accounts describe the tunnel as a dark, poorly ventilated space, and it was here that people shared whispered conversations, food, and found solidarity through fearful nights. Following the war, the British Hong Kong government preserved the tunnel, although most entrances were sealed. The sole remaining entrance is now located in an alley tucked behind several old buildings at the intersection of Leighton Road and Wong Nai Chung. Please note that entry into the tunnel requires proper authorization from the relevant authorities. In the late 19th century, rickshaws were a common sight in Hong Kong. By the early 1880s, there were hundreds of rickshaw pullers operating in the transport market that preceded the establishment of Hong Kong train lines. Although their work was physically demanding, running around the island and navigating the challenges of steeper hills, they earned a respectable living providing personal transport services to Hong Kong residents. In Cantonese, the rickshaw is known as Jamlitsi, where Jam means human, meaning power or force, and Si means. The rickshaws featured a collapsible green hood in the back to protect passengers from the sun or the rain, similar to a carriage hood. They also included a matching green apron that could be stretched across the passenger's lower hats. The rickshaw operators wore conical rock uniforms, and during rainfall, they would don large yellow overcoats. While these raincoats gave them a substantial appearance, Operators themselves were typically lean and athletic individuals. A building with distinctive greenish-blue glass walls, the Hong Kong Sanatorium and Hospital. While its modern appearance may suggest an ordinary private hospital, this institution holds a remarkable story woven in Hong Kong's history. Established in 1922, the Hong Kong Sanatorium and Hospital was the first large-scale hospital established and managed by Chinese doctors. At that time, Hong Kong's medical services were predominantly provided by foreign doctors, which created significant barriers to healthcare access for Chinese patients. Determined to address this disparity, a group of Chinese doctors united to establish this hospital. The institution's beginnings were humble, opening with just 28 beds and limited resources. Yet, under the leadership of Dr. Xu, the hospital steadily evolved into one of Hong Kong's premier private hospitals. This transformation not only diversified Hong Kong's medical landscape, but also marked a major milestone in the city's healthcare history. Horse racing events are organized by the Hong Kong Jockey Club, one of the city's oldest institutions. Founded in 1884 to establish local city life, HKJC is now a not-for-profit organization conducting more than 700 races. As the sole licensed operator of horse racing and football betting activities in Hong Kong, it ranks as the city's largest taxpayer. HKJC is also the largest private charity, contributing more than $1 billion Hong Kong dollars each year to various community efforts. Traditional Chinese confection features a small pink, sugary base, sometimes enhanced with sesame flakes. The sweet treat, with a history spanning 60 years, remains popular in Hong Kong today. Its name derived from the gum sound produced when making a break of large candy blocks into smaller, sellable pieces. Considered sampling this local delicacy. Welcome to Hong Kong, where a unique feature of our construction sites, bamboo scaffolding, captures the attention of visitors while showcasing Chinese music. The construction technique has deep roots in China. According to legend, Yu Chao built the first treehouse with bamboo over 5,000 years ago, laying the foundation for scaffolding. In modern Hong Kong, this ancient craft has evolved into vital construction technology. Bamboo scaffolding is popular for four main advantages: abundance, efficiency, and affordability. Compared to materials like aluminum or steel, bamboo is far cheaper, making it a practical choice. Its lightweight nature also allows for fast and adaptable construction. Workers can tie bamboo poles with plastic ropes and assemble large scaffolds in hours, with easy modifications possible using the saw. During Hong Kong summer, bamboo, however, stays cooler, providing a safer work environment. Bamboo scaffolding is not outdated. It represents the excellence of traditional Chinese construction techniques. allow staff to pick it out. It would waddle across Causeway Bay, creating an enchanting sight that locals often liken to a nightmare. This unusual story was later verified by the retired curator of the Hong Kong History Museum, who personally witnessed the painting. It was an ordinary-sized penguin, appearing as if dressed in a tuxedo. It would amble down the street with a cool and carefree demeanor. The penguin's origins remain somewhat mysterious. One prevalent theory suggests a merchant sailor had brought it back from overseas and arranged for its temporary care. The penguin's presence was brief, and its subsequent disappearance became one of Hong Kong's more intriguing historical events. This is the very heart of Causeway Bay. As a Hong Kong tourist, you can shop at the stores and Causeway Bay. The district caters for all tastes, from high-end fashion and luxury goods to more popular retail outlets. Visitors often dedicate an entire day to exploring the shopping malls, department stores, boutiques, and market shops. Most shops remain open well into the evening, but streets remain crowded. Two historical landmarks reveal Causeway Bay's origin. The Typhoon Shelter and Tianhao Temple that honors the Chinese goddess of the sea are evidence that this area was once a fishing village. To seek the goddess' protection, sailors would navigate their boats in three figures of eight while passing Tianhao Temple. The original fishing settlement occupied the area that now surrounds the Tianhao Temple. Today, Hong Kong Tramways operates 165 double-decker trains, a significant expansion from 26 that inaugurated the service over 100 years ago. Hong Kong residents affectionately call the trams dingoes, a nickname derived from the iconic double bell ring used to alert pedestrians. The nickname has become so ingrained in local culture that travel by train is often expressed as take the dingo. Now arrived at the thank you for traveling. We hope you have enjoyed it. Please leave the tram promptly at the next door when you start to sing. And remember to collect all your belongings. Your pass allows you to travel on our regular passenger train services for 2 days. Simply show your pass to the motorman when alighting from regular passenger trains. We invite you to explore the attractions and all the nice spots from other train tracks. May your experience with Hong Kong Transit. Thank you. Bye.